Hi.
Hi. What a beautiful intro.
I know. Every time I see the intro, it just gets me so excited. I'm just like, oh,
It
look at
does.
us.
Like, look at us. Right.
It's like a flashback of like all the memories and
All the
all of that.
chapters.
Yes, the big
Makes you
sister.
excited for what's to come.
Right. I love it. I love it. So, how are you guys doing?
Fabulous.
Awesome.
Listen, it's so close to Friday, honey. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
tomorrow's Friday Eve.
I know I do.
Where
Happy
is the
hump day.
weekend and a lemon drop.
Yes.
Fresh lemons.
I love that today is International Pronouns Day. So I love that everybody has their pronouns in their names. And we celebrated that at school today. Everyone's like, oh, my pronouns are this, and we respect everybody. So that's like exciting for the day.
Yes.
I love it.
All righty.
Thank you, Sorority.
Hey, Sydney. Hi. Thank you.
Hi. All right, we got to the welcome form.
All right, welcome to our third show where we'll be talking about LGBTQ and plus in entertainment. We are so excited to be here. It is our third episode, and let's get started.
Right now.
Yes. All right. Before we get started, the views and opinions expressed during this broadcast are those of the host and the guests and do not reflect the views and or opinions of Beta Phi Omega Sorority Incorporated.
Yes.
Let's get started.
All right, so I know you guys have been all over social media and you've seen the backlash from Dave Chappelle. So have any of you guys watched the show?
I have tried to get through it.
Okay, what were your feelings?
I didn't feel offended by anything he said. It just got to a point to where I was just over it. And it just kind of I just no longer was interested. It was boring.
So I didn't watch it, but I walked in on my wife watching it, and I caught maybe some of the jokes, and I think the part that I caught was more on the LGBT community, how he was talking about his gay friend that died and her daughter. I didn't really think the jokes were funny. I thought it was kind of lame. But I did laugh at one part when he was like, I can't remember exactly what he said, but he said when the daughter gets older, I'm gonna tell her what type of father she had or something like that. And he made a joke talking about her mom. So I thought that was kind of funny, but it was still lame.
Well, I gotta realize Dave Chappelle has been out here for a minute. And I don't want to, the one of the bunch, but I did particularly like it. Of course, the whole thing was not funny, but it did have a lot of good pieces. And it was kind of like, yo, I really miss Dave Chappelle because old boy went on a whole hiatus.
Yes, I remember that.
When was the last time you heard from Dave Chappelle?
Yes.
I was like, why have all these high expectations? Oh, he's this. Come on now. Y'all already know how Dave Chappelle is. This man has been the same way since he started. So I can't say the dude is consistent.
Yeah.
You're still like an OG, kind of, sort of.
Yeah.
So you gotta be a little bit funny. Like you can't be.
Well, but are we tired of the same jokes or being presented the same way? So I just think that's what a lot of people are. And I saw today that recently employees are like striking and walking out on Netflix and on their job protesting, and they want it to be taken down.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the latest update, and I was like, wow.
And honestly, I don't know how I feel about that. Part of me is like, okay, I get it. But then it's like I saw some type of commentary when people were talking about, but when Dave Chappelle was talking about the African American culture and that community, everything was okay.
Yeah.
It was okay, and it's entertaining to see him as a crackhead, a fiend, or whatever you want to call it. It's fine to laugh at that.
Yeah.
Right.
But anything else, it's like, oh no, I get it. But if you're gonna be like that all across the board.
Yes, I was just about to say that. You have to be like that for blacks, whites, women, men,
LGBT.
everybody.
Everybody.
Because we can't, you can't feel some type of way if he's talking about you and you're a part of that group. And then if you want to talk about your cousin who did A, B, C, and D, and you want to ha and kiki about that, you have to be same across the board. I just think that's what we always get mixed up in, treating everybody the same. So that is one thing.
And honestly, that was the biggest issue. It didn't have anything for real to me to do with the LGBTQ community. It's just you weren't okay with it because now you're under that same light.
Well, he doesn't care. Dave Chappelle said, if this is what cancel feels like, let me be canceled.
Hello.
It's getting him more streams, more income, because they're talking about the show. Everybody's going to go watch it.
Making him relevant, which he has not been for a very long time.
Hello.
Exactly.
The man was living in Asia for like 15 years?
I've seen some people on Facebook commenting saying that this is making the LGBTQ plus community the new white privilege.
I've heard that as well.
But what part of the LGBTQ community? Because not the people that look like me.
That part.
So if you're going to say that, say who exactly?
Exactly.
Like, what white privilege, LGBT.
But you know how that goes.
There is no equal.
No equality.
I agree with her. Not the people that look like me.
Exactly.
There's still so much segregation in the LGBTQ community. Like
amongst ourselves.
Exactly. It's like, why is there only one set of color here and then one set of color here? Why can't we all be together but together? What do you think's gonna happen on TV? Like, come on.
So
I'm sorry, there's too many red flags for me.
Yes. I was just about to say that. I love how you brought that in. The red flags. First of all, I'm sick of seeing them at this point. Everything is a red flag.
Look, that's a red flag.
We should have had red flags for today and just wave them.
No, for we should have. Seriously.
You got the red lip. Yep.
And the red hair.
What was the best red flag that you saw?
And then people tried to be creative and start doing green flags. Like, come on,
right. Well,
or at least yellowish orange.
If you're dating a beta, it's always going to be a pink flag, but that's neither here nor there.
Neither here nor there, right? So Bev, where did the red flag? Where did this start?
I think it started on Twitter, because you know how Twitter is just random tweets, and Twitter has been kind of quiet lately. All the other social media platforms are all, popular, but they were just saying bad things, and then that it's a red flag if that person has these traits. So if you're like, oh, if she has locks, she's a red flag, and then it just transferred to Facebook, and now it's everywhere.
Oh wow!
Hopefully,
I have seen
the red flags.
I've seen so many crazy ones. If a funny one I saw was if he asked to borrow your car while you at work, red flag.
Yes.
I have one in the comment that says over 30 living at home, red flag.
Mm-hmm.
Or you telling me your car been in the shop for 3 months, but you about to get it out tomorrow? Red flag.
Red flag.
Okay.
When they be like, I've been wanting you. Red flag.
Red flag.
Big red flag.
Yes.
The funniest one that I saw was all these women out here see all these red flags and still be out here pregnant with Mr. Red Flag Jr.
That's it.
Yes, exactly. Or you ignore the red flag and you continue to date them.
Exactly. You continue to date them. Exactly.
You still sitting on it and everything else with the red flags.
Yeah,
have you got
she posted men and red flags. I'm like, dead, really?
What, repeat it, Camille?
I'm sorry. One of my friends on Facebook, she posted all Dallas men and a bunch of red flags.
Dang, that was me. I'm like that.
LaToy said, let's hold your check till payday. Red flag.
Red flag.
I got direct deposit, so that's a no-go.
Right.
Right.
Well, if she got white toenail polish, red flag.
White toenail polish in the winter.
That's like my go-to polish. Okay, don't do me.
White toes, get your chose.
Right. Hello, I love it. Hashtag.
I like that.
Have y'all did y'all see on social media the 18-year-old girl who married her godfather?
Listen, I'm so ashamed because I want to say they're from Louisiana. From my city, and I was like, my friends was tagging me on it like yesterday and all day today, and I'm at work. I'm like, wait, what's going on? So he's like 50 something now, and she's 18.
Red flag.
That's called
there's a red flag, right? So there's a picture of her when she was a baby, and he's holding her because he's her godfather. Well, somewhere in the mix, the mom made a video, and she was like, I slept with him back in the day when my baby was litter. He's her godfather. I slept with him for $150 and a cell phone. Now he's married to the goddaughter, and she's 18, and he's 54, and she on there like, because I married him, yeah. And
say it again.
I'm a baby. Yeah, that's this. She's like, and y'all talking about I'm a baby, I'm grown, I'm 18, and I'm like,
that's not a red flag. That's a huge problem, child. You got
exactly.
Listen,
150 in a cell phone.
Don't forget
the iPhone wasn't out by then. So what phone you sleeping for?
Don't forget about the cell phone, child.
A flip one. And my thing is, when you go look at the pictures, everything is wrong with the pictures of the wedding.
Lord.
Paper tablecloth.
Girl, he had on a cream short sleeve little linen suit with a long sleeve
white cut it out.
It was a printer in the background of the reception too, and he had his blue and white surgical mask on the foldable table with the foldable chairs there.
The suit. And what's up? What did the comments say? Or something about who office y'all in with the copy machine? Girl, you going hard behind your.
Y'all could at least did it in the backyard.
At least he could have had some.
Don't take that to somebody else's establishment.
It was the paper.
No,
it was a paper tablecloth for me. That's what took me because they stopped like this. This is the table. They stopped like right here. So
for me, it was the suit.
I would have prayed that a fax would have came through during the ceremony.
Yeah.
It was
everybody was like, "Did y'all fax y'all marriage certificate?" And it was crazy.
2 minutes.
It's amazing.
They would line them up.
Maybe that's her sugar daddy, you know.
I mean,
that's beyond sugar daddy.
Sis, I can understand,
but sugar daddy, because he don't even look like he had no money.
Not with that.
He didn't say $150 in a cell phone.
But clearly it was the suit for me. Like the suit was ivory, and the long sleeve shirt he had under there was white. Like
oh my God.
White shirt. It was cream short sleeve. It was like a little linen suit you get from like the little KMG or something.
She looks like a baby because she's 18. She literally looks like a baby.
That's your daughter.
I'm with you. I got a lot of questions.
Yeah,
I need to see this.
Definitely broke looking, La Crystal. Definitely broke looking.
Definitely
broke looking.
And he's sitting back chilling. He was sitting back chilling, like on the foldable table in the foldable chair with his arm around her. I said they couldn't even get seat covers.
Stop.
Tablecloth.
It was horrible, for real.
This sounds terrible. That sounds like a nightmare.
They clearly did not understand the assignment.
They did not. They did not understand.
They didn't even read the directions.
If you guys see the y'all have to go find the post so y'all can really see it, and you're gonna be crying.
Listen, I'm crying listening to y'all. I haven't seen it, and I'm dying.
I want to know where the mama was at. Was she the maid of honor?
Did she give her away?
I'm gonna give her away. She wasn't there because she made like a different comments about it, and she was like, "I'm gonna send the souls behind them," and like she's not okay with it at all, and she's letting it be known that there was her man before, and she got the 150 in the cell phone.
You got my leftovers, baby.
Not because it's her child and her child is 18.
Because it was her man first.
But because that was my man first.
It was her man first.
What? This sounds like some real precious type stuff.
You got my leftovers, girl. Red flag.
Yeah. It sounds like some ID investigation. Mm-mm.
What you got?
I got to be another fatal attraction.
It's $100. It's $150 in a cell phone for me.
Girl,
what can you do for that? Pay a bill? A light bill?
What kind of cell phone?
We paid the cell phone.
If it was a Nokia, on her.
Not Nokia. Not Nokia. Bring out. They need to go on Jerry Springer at this point.
It's a razor.
Girl,
they could go on Jerry Springer.
She had to play Snake.
No, Jerry said he's too good for that now. Jerry a judge. Who's the next one? Steve Wilco or Steve Wilco?
Yeah.
Girl, and he is a mess.
Yeah, but enough of these red flags, honey. We tired of them.
Red flag. When you're tired of the red flags, that's a red.
That's a red flag.
Yes, and then they popping up with the green flags, like
right.
Oh, so that
made me so mad.
It's a go. It's a go.
It's a go.
Yes. And that's a no. Red flag. All righty.
So, as we know, LGBTQ plus entertainment can range from comedy, spoken word, songwriting, exotic dancing, lip singing, male, female impersonation. But tonight, we have a very special guest. He resides in Hot Atlanta. Not only is he an LGBTQ plus entertainer, he's an MC, songwriter, actor, musician, author, vocalist, poet, and screenwriter. It is my honor to introduce to you our big bruh of Omicron Psi Omega Incorporated, Royce Hall.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you so much. It's lovely to be here with y'all.
Hello, bro. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How about y'all?
We are. I'm good. Good. Excited.
No doubt. No doubt. Got some interesting commentary y'all opened up with.
Red flag.
Red flag.
We like to live life on the wild side just a little bit sometimes.
It's like,
yes, see, at the Flamingo Cafe, you're going to get 100%, okay, realness.
All the time.
Yes. We don't care.
No doubt.
So, bro, we thank you so much for coming on and sharing all of your wonderful entertainments with us. So we do have a clip of one of your live performances. Would you like to introduce this clip?
Yeah, of course. I believe this comes from August of this year when I featured at City Winery here in Atlanta, and the piece is entitled Wardrobe, if I'm not mistaken. And it pretty much just chronicles our experience as LGBTQIA plus people, where we started, sort of living in the shadows of the proverbial closet, if you will, and where we are now, finding ourselves, affirming ourselves, and standing on that ground proudly in the light, no longer in the shadows, and just us living our lives as affirmatively and proud as we can, whether we're still figuring it out, whether we've come to that journey and that's where our stop is. But it's just a piece to remind us that we're okay, that we're just fine, and that we're necessary and we're intentionally created, and we're no longer apologizing for our existence because we've made room for so many other people and so many concessions for everyone else in the past just to simply exist and feel validated or find validation. So it's wardrobe.
We used to hide our heads in the sand when the sun rose, treading lightly during daylight, being just enough visible, silence from inclusion, overlooked unless, yes, bitch, flamboyant and questionable. Erased us from conversations of community, we were hopefuls. Seeking held hands in social circles, he funny dog, but he cool. The stud proven unconcerned with turning out your girl. The queen who was your good Judy giving you the tea in private, but never royal enough to have coffee with you in public. The assumed butch you insisted on misgendering. The trans woman you pumped to death, and we showed you that we were safe. Hoping to be seen as normal, we kept private lives behind curtains, censored pronouns with ambiguity when discussing our love interest near you. We self-inflicted disdain. We good enough to beat your face. See, you knew us. You ignored us. You taunted us, targeted us as you often still do. Don't you remember? See, you fagged us, you dyked us, you sissied us, you trained us, you arrested us for loving while we rallied for all of our living. You bullied, you beat, you murdered, you caused someone's family to bury many of us and still do. Though we could never be laid to rest or quieted. See, we rioted, we now out and proud, grew sick of resting in caves, gathering in dark spaces behind the quotations inside of squinted eyes and your conversations. We gave breath to bravery. See, there's no agenda to our existence. We just grew strong enough to affirm and amplify that we too are human. Yes. And both. We are still growing tired of closets, but are steadily unpacking and unloading and stretching our limbs. We created safe spaces and shot birds at the cubby holes you hope we remain in. We've been here. We didn't just appear. We simply learned that we're okay. And gave ourselves the comfort you never deserved. We broke the hinges off the doors, escaping closets you hope we stay in, even if we opened them slowly. Holding the hands of others as we grab hold of freedom, praying to God that we've lived outside the corridors. We stepped out dressed to the nines, tens across the board, leaving shame in a dark corner, bag for trash. We stepped out battling storms, seeing silver linings and rainbows, claiming what we've been denied. We stonewall, we mobilize movements, we draped in pride. Wardrobe.
Right. Yes.
Yes.
Nah.
Hope y'all dug it.
Took me back to church.
Yeah.
Sunday service.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So just so everyone knows, we are going to be giving away 3 autographed copies today of Royce's book called Rioting at Dawn. The winners are going to be announced at the end of the show. So make sure you stay tuned to find out if you are a winner or not.
Will that be you?
Are you? All right, Royce. So the first question is gonna be, where did it all begin? Like, was there like some type of event that happened in your life that made you want to be like, okay, this is for me? Or like, what was it for you to become, who you are?
Let's see. The very first thing was when I was about 3. I don't remember what happened prior to this, but when I was about 3, my mom put me in a piano program. And from there, I stuck with that from about 3 until 12 years old. So every day, every summer, every day after school, for the most part, every weekend, every Saturday morning rather, and every summer, I was in a piano program. And from there, in between then, I started to, make up songs around the house, and music was constantly played in our house. So it wasn't something that was foreign to me. And then TLC came out. And that pretty much changed it for me. I was in elementary school, and my best friend was obsessed. And we felt like, well, if we create a group, if we rap, we become famous, we'll eventually meet TLC. There was really no other motive behind it, just three little kids who wanted to be their, superstar heroes. And that's where it came from. And from there, it turned into, well, we want to meet the Fugees too, because the Fugees hit the scene, and then it just continued. But for me, it turned into something else. For my group partners, we're still great friends to this very day. But for them, they got into other things, got married, started families. One became more involved in theater, and I got into MC battling and just performing around campus, and got a manager, and pretty much that was it. It was just so much a part of my life that nothing else. I can't say nothing else mattered, but to an extent, nothing else mattered. And I began to do spoken word on campus. I wrote my first spoken word piece, if you will, in high school. And whenever I saw Love Jones, that too influenced me. Or I heard the soundtrack, I wasn't old enough to see the movie, but that influenced me as well. So it pretty much started as early as I can remember, as far as creating goes, and it just continued to build on that. Even the preschools that I attended, the school I went to, K through 12, it also helped to my artistic expression. So that's really where it started, and everything else just came along the way. Acting as well. I didn't expect to. Acting wasn't on my radar at all growing up. Music and animal science. That was it. And a few years ago, acting came into the picture, and that's what I love. So music led me to one thing, and one thing led to the next, and so here we are.
Like it just came natural. Like
Definitely did.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, Royce. So our next question is, what is your driver that aids you in continuing your artistry journey?
I would have to pinpoint a couple of things. Storytelling, the need to tell stories. That would be the first thing. Because it's so innately a part of me, I don't know anything else. Creating is my first language. So, and I realize that that's a part of my purpose. So to live intentionally and serve on my purpose is non-negotiable. Other than that, let's see. A third thing would be the feeling and the fuel that it gives me to know that I am serving purpose. So those are the things that drive me to create, is the need to tell stories in hopes of enlightening, bridging gaps, in hopes of creating intersectionality, specifically within Black and Brown communities, because there's definitely a disconnect when it comes to uh, community, emphasis on unity, emphasis on coming together, emphasis on not discarding or disregarding the marginalization within our already marginalized community. So the need to bring us together, to bring us together. So those are the main things that drive me to create.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
So, Royce, no lie. When I listen to Front Porch Love, see, I'm in Texas.
Yes.
And this song resonated with me on so many different levels. I love neo soul. I'm a big fan of Legacy, and when I listen to this track, oh my goodness, it just made me think of hot sweet tea, sundresses, summer days, relaxing, with the ones you love. Um, what inspired this track?
Mm.
Like, where do I begin?
Right. Where do we begin with all of this?
honestly, I had the track for a few years, and the
Wow.
initial song that I wrote to it was something about sarongs and front porch. but I wasn't satisfied with it. So I put it down, and one day I was just going through music that I had in my possession, and I was just in my bedroom singing, freestyling to the track, and I decided to record myself. And so when I open up the app on my phone, like whatever comes out, this is what this song is supposed to be about. And I just started singing. And literally what is on that track and what has been released is nothing but a freestyle. And I went back and wrote the lyrics down so that I can go into the studio and record it, did the vocal arrangements, and that was it. It literally was just me bouncing around in my bedroom having fun, and it came about, and I decided, okay, it's done. This is it.
A lot of musicians say that's how it comes. It's like natural.
Yeah.
They'll be doing something and then it just pops in their head and they make a hit and it's successful.
Through artistry.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Yeah. And you learn when to stop. Like you learn not to force it, just let it be an authentic, organic moment and a full stop. Like this is it. There's nothing else to it. What has been divinely given to you in this moment is it. You just have to learn how to let it be what it is and not force anything else because the energy is going to speak for itself.
Right.
So I had to also be obedient to the process as well. Like don't beat it to death. Like the song is front porch love. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
All right.
Don't go add.
So
Hello.
I've also seen that you've opened up for some big names, K. Michelle, Brian McKnight. How was it performing for those in front of those large crowds and putting your raw talent out there?
You know what was I didn't even think about it. To be honest, Kay and I actually went to FAMU together, so it was kind of a full circle moment. Us both being friends in undergrad, and then her coming back to campus and my performing, opening up. It was like a not a pep rally on campus, but it was something similar to that. But it was definitely a full circle moment. Brian McKnight was a little different because it was, that's the homie type of thing.
Right.
But Brian McKnight, it was like, and it wasn't my first time being on stage with somebody of that capacity. But being that I listened to his music a lot and grew up on his music, it was a different type of full circle moment.
You kind of had like a fan moment.
Yeah, to an extent. And I've had some other moments like that were extremely profound. That looking back, it's like, wow, my 10-year-old self would have a field day right now. So I'm gonna rejoice for you. But yeah, it was a very special moment, and I'm definitely just learning to appreciate those types of manifestations.
Do you still get nervous when you perform and go in front of people?
Every single time. Every single time. Because every time really is the first time. Like you
Right.
never know what's gonna wait in the audience. You never know what the crowd size is gonna be.
Right.
You never know how you're gonna be received. And it's a very vulnerable, transparent space to be in. Because when you step on stage and you give your all and you put your all out there and you bare your soul, it's sort of like like how I remember Marvin Gaye saying like no song is ever really an old song when you perform it because the audience is different every single time. So for me, it's pretty much the same thing. Like I it's every single time is new. So I always get nervous, and I think that's one thing I love about it too is that lets me know I'm still on a certain path because it still gives me butterflies.
So whenever you
Yeah.
you go out on stage, like what is your like focal point? Like, do you have something you like? I'm gonna just look at this light right here. So, like what do you have that's like your focal point that you focus on when you're
Or are
performing?
you like one with the audience, you see him as like a family, like
Right.
I used to like I'll pick a light in the back, like I'm gonna just stay right there. But then I realized over the years the importance of connection and connecting with the audience. So like my most recent set, I stood primarily in one space the entire time, right at the mic, and I found that to be such a such an open moment for all of us to share, the audience and myself. It wasn't a lot of moving around.
It's
It
more
wasn't a lot
intimate.
of, yeah, very intimate is the perfect word, very intimate. So uh in nowadays it's more so I like having the eye contact. I like having the engagement because that's where we actually relate to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
You have to
Speaking of
pre-pause.
audience, we do have some questions from the audience if you're okay with answering.
Oh yeah.
One is there a goal that you have not yet to accomplish that you are anxious to accomplish?
Quite a few.
Can you just give us like
Quite a
one
few.
major one?
Oh, okay. I'll give one for acting and one for music. So for acting, to be booked this year, with the recurring role in a major studio production series,
Okay.
uh,
Okay, speak.
co-star or star, groundbreaking introduction, as well as in a film, a major studio production film, as a lead or a co-star. And for music, I would say touring with Stevie Wonder, collaborating with Stevie Wonder.
Ooh, come on now.
Manifesting over here,
Come
baby.
on,
Right.
universe. Come on, vibrations. Let's go.
Exactly.
Yes.
Bring it on in. Bring it on in.
Come
Yes.
on. He gonna feel that one in his sleep.
Yes, yes.
Yes, Stevie.
Yeah, he's my favorite artist, so that would be awesome.
Okay. We also have
We
another.
have another one, guys.
I think it's harder for LGBT artists.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Hmm. Ooh. I think it is still when it comes to the mainstream. I think it's hard for us to be seen as human or humanized when it comes to being on a mainstream platform. There's a lot of emphasis placed on scandal or the salaciousness of LGBTQA artists. There's not a lot of emphasis placed on our creativity once we step into a certain realm, unless we're, someone's accessory. We see it kind of like on reality TV, the black gay male is the hottest accessory for, for example, I don't know, Kenya Moore, Cynthia Bailey. We're okay as long as we're in those types of positions. And then it's also difficult for us to sometimes, or no, it's difficult for us to also not be able to support often our own community overall.
Yeah.
So I definitely think we're still fighting the fight. You're seeing us more and more, but to take away the juiciness of our existence and actually pay attention to our art is something that we're still definitely fighting for.
Right. Awesome. Well, looks like we have another one, guys.
More. It says, which is your first love? Music, spoken word, or acting?
Ooh.
That's a good one, Drew.
Yeah.
That
Yes.
is ooh.
And we
Well,
need to add
for me,
writing in there too.
Yeah.
I would say, hmm, well, I mean, they're all definitely connected for me. There won't be one without the other.
Mhm.
But in this particular moment, in this space, definitely acting. Where I am right now, definitely acting. But music right there on my shoulder, tapping me like, "Hey, don't
They kind of
forget."
go hand in hand,
Right.
They
Definitely
do.
go hand in hand.
Do you
Yeah,
see
they do.
yourself writing a script for a show?
Absolutely. I'm working on a few things now, waiting for some things to fall into place with my first short, The Box in the Corner, and finishing my first feature length. So right now it's just about strategy, building funding for two projects, but absolutely, absolutely writing in a major way, or being a part of someone's writing room as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Definitely, definitely.
I'm such a big fan of poetry. Is there one specific poet that you feel like you connect with or that inspires you the most?
One. Ooh. Let's see. Growing up, Nikki Giovanni was constant.
Yes.
Okay.
The first poem I learned that my mom and I actually would do together was Langston Hughes' Mother to Son. It was a
That's a good
poetry
one.
book that she ordered when I was little. Because we have so many books at the house, but that was the first poem I learned, and then Still I Rise was the next, and then I met Nikki Giovanni and Dr. Angelou at a very early age, but I would say Langston Hughes, Nikki Giovanni, and later on Malik Yusuf. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Oh, so we have another question. How has the pandemic affected your career and or your creativity?
It's actually giving me a chance to just really sit and
Yeah.
just create as much as I can, and also use what's going on as a guide to make sure that I'm utilizing time wisely.
Okay.
Because as we can see, that so much has changed within a year and some change. Like everything that we've known has completely altered itself, and we have to navigate the world in a completely different way. So I've been using it to also perform in different ways too, figure out different ways to stay engaged or engaging. So I've done a lot of things online, a lot of live streams, a lot of features online, which I'm grateful for because that was one thing I wondered, okay, well, I'm used to performing live in person. What is this going to look like? Because venues are closed or things are very limited. But, with much gratitude, I've been able to maintain a very consistent flow.
Nice.
That's awesome. We do have another question. So I see you have a few new projects coming out. What can you tell us about your role as Aubrey,
Oh,
the only girl in the world?
woo! Audrey is. I love when I play a character that's just most of the characters I play there aren't any that are similar, but Aubrey is definitely a different kind. And the one thing I can say is that his personality, his actions, he's very calculated. Uh, the unsuspecting. I don't want to give too much away, but man, he's that person that's kind of like, you meet somebody, you're like, oh wow, they're so cool. I like, I like talking to them, and then you like, what? Are you
Yes.
serious?
God.
Are you serious? That's Aubrey is that dude.
It's like it sounds like you meet somebody, you like, this is too good to be true. Like this is too good. This sounds too perfect. What's wrong?
Yep. That is Aubrey.
Definitely like that.
Red flag.
Aubrey is Aubrey is the red flag, but Aubrey has it together. It's just that he's the red flag in all the other areas that you want to be together. So most of the boxes that people will check off, it's like, yeah. But then if you're watching, Aubrey is also the person that will make you want to throw a shoe at the screen. Like, I'm done. I can't. Girl, how could you? You don't see this? Like,
that's how the conversations be.
Right.
Yeah.
Just now.
Do you feel like you feel like you connect with him in any kind of way?
Oh no.
I'm about to be like,
I think the only thing that I don't know what's gonna happen in season 2 once the series is released. I don't know what the writer's gonna do with Aubrey. He will be in season 2. I just don't know to what that's gonna look like. But the way that he cares for Sage, it appears to be very sweet, very doting, very secure, safe, accommodating. But on that side of it, it's like, yeah, I rock with Aubrey. But the reality of Aubrey is, we have nothing in common.
Absolutely not, right?
And that comes out in November, right? Is it?
Yeah, Thanksgiving Day. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice. Well, Royce, I think we have one last question though. Can you tell us a little bit about the Sydney Star controversy? Come on now. Come on.
What? Oh wow. Wow. Sydney Star. Oh, what happened with Sydney Star? All right, I mean,
I was hoping you could tell us.
you know what I would love to happen. I would love for relationships, connections with Black trans women in particular, to be valued and seen as human, and not so much controversy and juiciness, and because underneath all of that is some things that we really have to unpack and unlearn when it comes to trans women in relationships with cis hetero men.
Yeah.
There's a lot of scandal attached to that, and there's a lot of dehumanizing attached to that. So, and then also there's a lot of invalidating attached to that, because we all know if Sydney Star were not Black and a trans woman or a woman of trans experience, we would not, her platform or her name wouldn't be associated with certain things. She would just be, oh, rapper, she dates or she's friends with such. It would be just that. But because of her identity as a trans woman, there's a lot up under that. There's a lot up under that, and I hope that we can get to a point we can have some honest conversations about how we see people in identity, how we see people in them being deserving of connections that are not rooted in salaciousness, that they're actually valued as a friend and as a human, and that they're worthy of romantic connections, and not just being, the little something you got in the background that happened to leak out. Because even in that, it's still rooted in invalidating who they are. Under that, the real conversation is, trigger warning, but the real conversation is that is, and what it really is too, you know what I mean? So whenever we're able to get past that and actually respect trans women, I think that the controversy will shift.
So if you were going back to your younger self, somebody who was trying to get into the music industry, acting field, what advice would you give them or give your younger self who wants to pursue dreams such as yours?
I would tell my younger self to take a break after high school. Take a break, maybe a year, however much time you need, instead of jumping directly into undergrad studies. Take a break to actually give some time to your music. Actually give some time to recording professionally, performing as much as you can professionally, and traveling to even see if you want to pursue this professionally for the long haul. Because going from high school and entering that summer as a freshman in college, it shifts your entire scope. Your focus changes. So you find yourself squeezing in time for things that you really, really enjoy. So by the time I reached my senior year, I was kind of burnt out and had fallen out of love a bit with animal science. So, and music was at the forefront. Like, I love this. Animal science, it became I said I wanted to be a vet at age 5. So let me try to find.
Parents pushed college. They were pushing college so much then.
Right. Yeah. So it was. Yeah. So I definitely would take a break. And just, and even if that break meant coming back and doing something else like journalism or, Africana studies or something else, I would definitely take a break. I would tell my younger self, it's okay. Like, don't feel like you're losing out or you're stepping away from the path if you decide to, find your light over here versus over here.
I love that advice. Is Atlanta the best city for young Black LGBT plus trying to get into the creative scene?
I would say I would still say yes, but the environment has shifted so much because of gentrification and all of that. Before,
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta was definitely like the hub for all Black artists to come and thrive and really live off your art. You know, if you are consistent with creating and performing and building a brand and treating yourself like a startup business, you could literally come to Atlanta and do that and that only, and be comfortable. But because of that, it's a little, because of gentrification, things are a little different. There's definitely a shift in the culture here. But overall, I would say it's still a great place to be because there's so much variety in how people show up here. It's not odd if you walk into a casting room and you're non-binary. It's not odd to get a casting call that requests someone who's trans male or trans woman, or is comfortable with same-sex love scenes. It's not uncommon at all. So uh, for that alone is still great, as well as even just performing around the city. 15 years ago, depending, a person may feel a little intimidated if they perform at a venue that's not LGBT specific. But now you can. It's a different. Also, there's a different audacity that we carry too.
Yes.
Where we're in a different place as a community, like, and I'm showing up. I'm showing up for me. I'm showing up for everybody else too. So
hello,
deal with it.
I'm here.
And if you don't want to deal with it, we'll just start our own thing, and then you'll try to come to our table and have a seat. So I think that we're still able to thrive here. It's just that also society has grown a bit too.
Mm-hmm.
And the people want to know, where can they watch this new series?
Only Girl in the World.
Yes.
It premieres Thanksgiving Day this year on iElevate Plus TV, which is a new streaming network that is solely dedicated to amplifying the voices of us, Black and brown LGBTQIA people. Yeah, so you just subscribe to it and you get the notifications. But there's a lot of content already up, and the other film that I star in, A Trip, will be streaming on there as well.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Things popping. Yes, I love it.
We manifesting. We
Yes.
speaking, all of that. Yes.
Absolutely.
Would you mind telling our viewers some of your social media platforms where they can find you, up and coming events, anything of that nature, booking, i.e., come on, we want you to be booked and busy, honey.
Exactly. I accept that I need to be booked and busy. Let's see. Social media, everything is I am Royce Hall. That's IAMROYCHALL. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook is Royce Hall the artist. But if you just search Royce Hall, it should come up. Spotify, Pandora, iTunes, Apple Music, Amazon Music. I'm there. You just look for Royce Hall. What else? My books are available. Amazon, Barnes & Noble. I keep an amount of copies on me as well, because sometimes people want signed copies. So I decided to keep those. And I have merch too, that if you order signed copies, you always receive a surprise merch gift. So yeah, so you never know what it's going to be. And I'm doing some special things with that as well, in order to just build on that branding process and how I present my art to people and how I give people as well. I take it seriously. It's very personal. Yeah. What else? Let's see.
How about booking? How can they contact you if they want to book?
If they want to book or to book me,
yeah,
you just send an email to roycehallmusic@gmail.com. Also, my website is theroycehallexperience.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you
all over these platforms.
Absolutely.
You have to be your own own producer. Everything. Put yourself out there.
Exactly. I don't believe. I'm a firm believer that anything is possible. Whatever we want, nothing is out of reach. So I like to go straight for the jugular. What is it? What do I want? Okay. And I zoom in. That's my target. So anybody watching, listening, if you have something that is placed on your heart that you truly want out of this life, somebody that you're inspired by, you want to live, not live that, but you want to accomplish something similar. Definitely just focus.
Yes. And to follow up on that, for this show's motivational segment is to never quit your daydream. Continue to follow your dreams, follow your passion, even if it takes you some time, even if you have to take a break, regroup, center, align, whatever it may be. Always practice self-compassion. Enjoy all the small steps that you take, even if it's not a large one, it's getting you there. Also, reach out to others. Don't be fearful to go after what you want. If you want to work with this individual, shoot them an email, do a comment, whatever it may be.
Exactly.
Make sure you manage your energies, child, because those energies, honey, they're going to get you along.
Everything, yes.
If something ain't right within you or within the space that you're in, please move forward, move on to the next destination, because, honey, that was not been meant for you.
Absolutely. Red flags.
Yes.
Definitely. All of that.
Because sometimes those habits will hinder you. So tweak them, always revise, listen, you're here to grow.
Absolutely.
So rethink your roadblocks. Those roadblocks will always come. You will never be able to get rid of roadblocks. But what you can do is find ways to go around those roadblocks. Never let those roadblocks stop you.
Those are learning experiences.
Exactly. Followed by break down your goals. Don't just say, I have a goal to do this. What are the steps that you're going to take to get those goals? Reiterate all those steps and then execute. As we all know in Beta Land, what are those P's? Somebody tell me those P's. Oh, come on now. All right. And as we're doing now, laugh out loud. Come on now. You even have to laugh.
Laughter is good for the soul, honey.
Keep you pushing. And lastly, savor your success. Never reach your goal and say, all right, cool, I got here, but dang, now it's time to hit the next one. No.
Celebrate. Celebrate yourself.
Even the small.
No, I hit this milestone. Let me sit back. Let me call some friends. Let's talk about it. Let's have a good time. Let's literally indulge in that success and then move on to the next one.
That was me today. I said, "Oh, I made it to work on time." Yes.
Because you always late, baby.
Yes.
All right. Now, I know in the beginning of the show, you guys remember me saying that we were giving away some of Royce's books, right?
Yeah.
Right. So we are going to announce the winners. We do have some winners. The winners are LaCrystal Williams, Jessica and Drusilla Poitier.
Yes.
Congratulations, ladies.
Yes.
Lucky.
All your information, so please stay tuned on that. And lastly, please tune in to our next show on November 3rd at 8 p.m. Our title for the show will be When It's Time to Bounce. I hope y'all all know when it's time to bounce, all right?
When you get the red flags, honey.
And our special guest who will be on that segment will be no other than another one of our bros, Shay Creasy.
Yes.
You guys on the next show. Hey.
Bye.
Royce, this has been amazing. Thank you.
Yes, I love
Thank
it.
you so much. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
For sure.